There is a lot of scientific research ongoing in Alaska, and a new project funded by the National Science Foundation was recently set up to establish a long-term ecological research station along the Beaufort Sea ecological coastline in northern Alaska. The plan is for this project to be set up for years, even decades, so scientists can better understand the environment and the changes that occur over longer time frames.
The coastline has a lot of these lagoons, so they're a really common feature up here, and they're really important because they're basically at the interface between the river and the ocean, and so the lagoons are sort of right in the middle, and they're the place where we can see the transformation of things coming from the water while it's making its way out to the coast.
My project is concerned with how nutrient inputs from the lands are what they are and how they're transformed as they get to the ocean, how those lead to the growth of algae, and also whether these lagoons are taking up carbon dioxide or releasing carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and under what circumstances we see those changes.
What's in the water is crucial to understanding how the ecological system is functioning, and this team utilizes boats to take measurements from deep water and wears special gear to trudge through the wet Arctic tundra to access rivers.
We're measuring everything from river water to the water in the lagoons. We also study the sediments, the mud at the bottom of the lagoons.
While this research team is studying the base of the food chain in local lagoons and rivers, it has a direct impact on Alaska food sources.
If there's not enough microalgae growing, then there's not enough for the grazers who eat that microalgae to grow, and then the things that eat those grazers, and so on. And so the local community really relies on the fish and the birds and the higher level animals for their livelihood. And so we need to understand things that are happening, at the very base of that food web.
Ecological changes in the lagoons not only affect Alaskan food sources, but also impact communities in other ways.
Which areas of land would be most susceptible to coastal erosion? Also, how sea ice is being affected by change in the environment, which could help local communities planning their hunting and fishing activities.
Climate change is occurring around the world, but it is especially noticeable in the Arctic. This is why studying the lagoons along the Beaufort Sea coastline is the focal point for this research group.
Many people know the Arctic is warming faster than any place on the planet, and we hear a lot about the Arctic Ocean and the changes that are happening there with sea ice decline, but there's actually been a very little amount of work done in the lagoons, which are really the glue that kind of connects the terrestrial with the marine environment. And so understanding what's happening in the lagoons that are these transition points can hopefully help us learn a lot more about how these systems will change in the future and also affect sort of global circulation patterns and so on.
In Barrow, Alaska, I'm meteorologist Cheryl Nelson for AccuWeather.